When Apollo 11 landed on the moon in 1969, I was 11 years old. That's too young to be a really organised collector of memorabilia, but at least I had the foresight to keep some of the bits and pieces that came my way at the time. So I thought it would be fun to have a look back through them 50 years later. Right, so there's Sunday Times from July. I can't read it. So there's a Sunday Times magazine from July 13th, 1969. And this is something I've cut out of a French magazine. I think it might be Harry Match. So this is obviously after Apollo 10. And these are lovely, look at these lovely pictures from, I guess again from Apollo 10, which did come very close to the surface without landing. And then there's a map of all the expected landing sites. Apollo 11 in exactly the correct place in the Sea of Tranquility. I'm not sure that any of the others are in the right place. And there it's got Apollo 20 landing in the crater Copernicus, which of course never happened. Life magazine. You'll notice that all these magazines I just cut out the bits I was interested in, so they're worth absolutely nothing. Because I just cut out the bits I was interested in and stapled them together, so it's not the whole magazine, it's just the bits about Apollo. This is another thing I've cut out of a magazine. This was the Radio Times for July 17th, so that's a week of Apollo 11. So this is the BBC's planned coverage for the Apollo 11 mission. But it's an interesting thing because after all this stuff about the real Apollo mission, down here, switching from fact to fiction, Star Trek. Now you might think Star Trek was pretty old hat by 1969 because in fact I think it had pretty much finished the first series in the United States. But in fact it was only just starting to be shown in the UK because it says introducing a space series packed with interstellar galaxy trotting future, and it's shown as a children's programme at 5:15 on Saturday. And then here I'll cover the, even though I don't still live there, I'll cover the address up. This is something I got from NASA in response to some fan mail that I sent. Let's do that again. This is something I actually got from NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Official business that I got obviously in response to some fan letter that I sent them. It's got a picture of the astronauts, some moon rocks, an Apollo 11 mission report, and a log of Apollo 11. So this is the sort of thing that NASA would have sent out free of charge to anybody who asked for it at that time, which is really quite nice. It's colour pictures and a chronology of events. This is a scrapbook of newspaper cuttings, which are really, I mean, at least at the beginning, are really nicely dated, and like Monday, June 30th, 1969, Apollo 11 could fail. Thursday, July 3rd. It looks all very neat. Might blast off and all is set for the moon, July 4th. I don't think I did this because that writing there is much, much too neat for me. I think it was probably my grandfather that did this. Some postcards. There's 3 commemorative ones for July 1969. And then another one that says Moonshot 1969 Apollo 11, but it's a picture of Apollo 9. So that was obviously done several months before actual landing. And here's a special magazine, Moonslaught, it's called. Here are a couple of souvenirs from local newspapers. This one from the Western Mail and Echo, and one here, Man on the Moon, from, I think this is the Birmingham Post supplement. So this one particularly is unusual. I mean, it might not look very unusual today, but it was really unusual in 1969 to have colour in a newspaper. It was almost always only black and white. More colour pictures. This is sort of aimed at the age group that I was at the time, Touchdown on the Moon. All exciting things you can play with. So there's all sorts of things in here. There's something that shows you the different spacesuits, the different layers of spacesuits. I'll come back to that. Oh, and there's things that look official, like that, which is really impressive when you're 11 years old. And the breakdown of the Saturn V rocket and the Apollo spacecraft. Then I don't think I can remember exactly how this works, but this is a flight path to the moon, and then the idea is that you follow the flight path and you break the spacecraft up on the way, which I used to know how to do. And there's another sort of official looking flight plan. And then something about landing areas with real imagery from the Ranger and Surveyor missions.